This is Sophie Aldred with The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Hello, and welcome, fellow Whovians. We are live on The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. How are y'all doing today? I'm fabulous. I hope you guys are fabulous. We've got a bittersweet moment. It's the last review of Ncuti Gatwa's series, of Ncuti Gatwa's era, of season 2 of our Doctor Who. On the upside, I don't have to do any late night watch parties anymore. But it's going to be a great show tonight. This has been an interesting episode to say the least. But let's bring up our producer first up here, Mr. Christian Basil. How's it going?
I almost you were like stuttering. It's like, did he forget what we're doing?
No, I didn't. I'm sad.
It was the second season of the 5th season. Okay, we got to do the show drunk. I meant seriously, we got to do it.
I'm
blitzed out of our mind here.
I'm fine with that. We'll do an after dark. I'm totally good with that.
Hey James, hello Roger, hello Gallifrey. I can't say Gallifrey these nuts. Hello everybody who's joined us. Timescales. Yep, I'll be doing the chats again. So try to see if you can outdo me. But I'll be in the producing corner right here. And yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. This is the last episode of the second series of Ncuti Gatwa, and I like the new intro, but I'm still discombobulated as to whether Billy is number 16. Everybody says
I honestly don't think she is. I honestly don't. But for now, I just enjoy editing it. So
I thought it was cool.
And more
I liked it.
When we find out she's not, then I will be happily re-edit it again. I'll leave her in there. But I'm surprised I've never put the false regeneration in when the Master regenerated into the Doctor, or the Doctor regenerated into the Master.
Oh, we're gonna be, what is this? Going to be an hour long going through the whole thing.
I have kept it to vaguely 2 minutes. Since the beginning. In fact, this is actually a shorter one than the last iteration.
Okay. Speaking of shorter ones there, folks, again, if you're just joining us, welcome to The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, What He Said. That's Dave. That's me, Christian. I'm going to be in the production corner taking care of your chats, and I'll be popping in from time to time. But here's your chance right now for all you fellow Whovians tonight to rate the last episode of Ncuti Gatwa's second season. Tonight we are reviewing The Reality War, and this is hosted by TheRatHole.CA. Check out Dave's site and all the board games that he's got over there, and he's also talking about Doctor Who games. You can check it out. Remember, the ratings are between 1 and 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and we're going to be going through our panelists. Whoever has the lowest score will get to go first, and then so on from there. And then stick around, because we'll be getting to your chats as well with time allots. So again, give us a number and tell us why, and then Dave, kick me away.
Yeah. Why did that not work? Seriously, why is that not working?
How about this? Oh, it didn't work. Oh my God, I'm trying too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we'll introduce the Candyman.
There you go.
Say hi, Candyman. How's it going?
I'm good. I'm absolutely fabulous as always. Yeah. Interesting. I had a phone call yesterday from a friend who's a Whovian in Spain. He's an English guy, but he was basically raised up in Spain. His name's, I want to shout him out. His name was called Seb Perry. He literally spent half an hour raving and ranting about this episode.
Okay, nice. Is that hopefully more raving than ranting, but there's definitely some of everything in there.
I can tell you right now, from people who I've talked to, it is. We've actually got some polls from the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, so we just started recently, so we'll go over those as well. Some of them were taken before the episode premiered, and some of them after, just to see where it stood after everybody made their discussions. But yeah, so
exactly.
Am I going to the corner or not?
I'm thinking. We can try again. Like that. Wait a minute. In the corner.
Everybody put baby in a corner.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
No one puts Christian in the corner, apart from himself.
Let's put it back.
No, that's the wrong one. That's also the wrong one. Nope, that's not it.
Which one is it?
There's a glitch in the Matrix.
That's the solo. This is the one that's got all of us.
Okay, so let me do this. If I do that, it's not even letting us move. Oh, okay.
Welcome to technical difficulty. We were warned. Or Christian was warned, at least when he came in the studio, that there may be some technical difficulties with StreamYard today for reason.
Okay, I got an idea. I bet you I know what it is. Take everybody out and then put everybody back in, but have me come first.
All right.
I bet you that's what it was, because you were the first one in, right? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that worked. That actually worked.
You're not small, though.
I am small. I'm in the corner.
I see you full size.
I'm in the
Mark,
corner.
do you see Christian at the same size as us, or do you see
him?
No,
I've seen him in the corner. Christian put himself in the corner.
All right. Well, we'll just go. And
we're off to a great start.
We're off to a great start.
So I apologize with all the updates that StreamYard's doing. Yeah, I meant this was the night that it picked.
There we go. So we'll bring in the wonderful and talented Nick Smith.
Me? Hey, how are you? It's great to see you guys. It's been a while.
Mine is completely whacked out.
It's all those late night screening, watch party, 3 a.m. craziness things.
That's what I do normally.
Hello, welcome from the house by the cemetery in Western New York. How is everybody? It's good to see you all.
Yes, it's good to see you too. I can't see you. I'm assuming you're here. I can hear you.
I can see me, so I'm happy.
I'm going to take a screenshot. I see something completely different than apparently what everyone else does. So I apologize.
I'm Thankfully,
just
tickled. I can see
who can push all of the other buttons.
Forehead. I see Christian peeking from behind a logo. It's cute.
Yeah. See, I've got a totally different layout for some reason.
Let's
see if it changes when I bring in Zion. Ding.
Nope.
Nope. Didn't change for me. So I can't see Zion either. That's okay. How's it going, Zion?
Oh, okay. Whoa, hey.
All right.
Whoa,
chaos and I'm good.
I don't know.
Nighttime scales.
Good on the life end, but the who and whoa, we'll get there.
Yes. Also, in the getting there, we've got Grisbin Adams. Mr. Adams, sir. How are you doing?
Mr. Adams, sir.
Mr. Adams, are you there? I can't hear you if you're there.
There's already a critical drinker as somebody already taken it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That looked like me.
Oh yeah.
I think this is a rating.
That is a rating. Yep. Oh, there's no number needed. That's the rating.
Just pie. I'll mark that down. So why don't we see what happens when I bring in Gadget and we go to the Who Knew News, and we'll see what it comes back to. Right. So here's
I'm laughing with tears right now because of what you guys are thinking. From my end, you have to see the crazy. I'm crying laughing because of how funny this is. I got holy water if we need it. I really do.
What?
I think I should just like holy water on my laptop.
That's
And
just random.
I'm also an ordained minister.
For multiple reasons.
I'm also an ordained minister, so a power. Yeah.
That was absolutely random. I got holy water, by the way.
I'm just like, hey, with my place
I
around
just
here,
carry it wherever I
Could
go.
be herbivores around.
you never know in this place. Remember, I'm a psychic empath and everything else. Everything runs around this place. But I am. He had me in stitches. I was like, I had to mute it. You guys would have heard a cackle so far. I couldn't. Like, I needed this. After what I've been through, I needed this, especially after
All right.
that
Speaking of
reality.
losing it.
I swear. I love you guys, and I swear.
I still, for the record,
Just
I
get to the
still
point.
see me, Christian, and Mark. That's it.
That might be a good thing.
If you're soloed right now, Gadget.
Okay, yeah, because I can see it solo on YouTube, and that's why I'm looking at
Good.
YouTube, trying to see what matches up. That's why I'm cracking up laughing when you guys are doing this, because what I'm seeing on YouTube is not what's here, not what. So I'm like, so far on YouTube, it's working. So that's good news. And then let's start with maybe some happy birthday news, because news tonight is very short, because thanks to this I think everybody's just with this show and everything. But let's start with Jerry Mathers, the Beaver. He turned 77 this past actually yesterday, June 2nd, and going strong. He was American actor and writer, and he only ran on Leave It to Beaver from 1957 to 1963. Most of the time you see him at the conventions and everything. Really good guy, sweet as hell. And I think is he the only surviving member right now? Or I think there's still Eddie Haskell, right? And everything.
I'm not sure anymore, but just to let people know, there is a connection to Doctor Who and Mr. Mathers himself. His brother on TV, Tony Dow, who played Wally, actually is connected to the Doctor Who TV movie with Paul McGann. He was the sound designer for the TV movie. So there's your connection right there to Leave It to Beaver. And unfortunately, Mr. Dow passed away before I got to see him over at Pensacon, where this picture was taken. But apparently, Mr. Mathers was there. And what I thought was funny with this picture is he was surrounded by all the Doctor Who. He was surrounded by all the actors. I think it was Paul McGann, Colin Baker, Peter Davidson, Janet Fielding, and the list goes on and on and on. And he was surrounded by them. But I think that's where they had Tony Dow originally to be there. And I actually explained to him, it's like, I think you belong in this area, Jerry, because you're kind of sitting in for Tony. So I said, I want to take a picture for Tony, and I'll take a picture of you since you played his on-screen brother. So that's the picture that came out here. So there you go.
It was too cute. Like, he's the sweetest person going.
He was a nice person. He didn't even know anything about Doctor Who, let alone that Tony worked on it. So
that was the news to him. And then we have also Jules. I never can pronounce her last name. State from Firefly History, Serendipity, as well as I think it was a Space Cadets with trying to remember who else was in there, because I know it was what is his name, Walter from the Power Rangers and everything. And basically
she was in Stargate Atlantis.
Yes, I think she was for a few episodes. Yes.
She was. Well, no, she was in it for a couple seasons.
Because I only got to see the tail end of Stargate Atlantis because of cable over here and everything. But I do remember her from Firefly History and Space Cadets. And basically now, not sure what she's in right now. I was going to check and see, but the last known thing I have up here is, where is it? 40 Below and Falling was they were showing as one of her movies besides Firefly and Serenity, sorry. Trying to read this one thing. I just want to make sure, because I know she had something coming up and was trying to figure out what it was, but I think it's in production, and that's what happened. Yeah, they took it down again. So she did have something in the works, and they took it down again. So it's probably post-production or whatever. They're probably figuring out. Oh, someone did put Eddie Haskell. Okay, yeah. So I think that he was surviving. Okay, so right now she's in limbo according to Wikipedia and everything because they took it down and stuff. But most of her claim to fame is Space Cases, Firefly. Oh, she was in X-Files as well. Are You Afraid of the Dark? She was in Sabrina the Animated Series. Not bad and everything. She has a whole list of like credits to her name and everything. The last thing they have her listed as was the 2022 Quantum Leap episode and everything. What a disaster. And I think StreamYard Tonight is a disaster and everything. So yeah. So happy birthday, Jewel. And then for all our Yahoovians, you can ask Billy what the hell is going on in LA Comic-Con this September 26th through the 28th and everything. Instagram just posted that you can start reserving your tickets and everything, but you'll get to meet David Tennant, Freema I cannot do it.
Freema
Agyeman, and Billy Piper. And by the way, guys, I think you better get all of Billy Piper's CDs right now before she gets even more famous, because you might not find them and everything and stuff. But on the saddest of notes and everything, Judy made us cry with the statement that he put out to his fans and everything, because even if you saw Doctor Who Unleashed or any of the other channels, he did it, he said, for his fans. He had the patch Sonic back and everything, and stuff. But do we have that up, his farewell to his fans and everything? Because if I try to read it, you guys are going to kill me.
What Judy's
yeah, his farewell to if anybody has not seen it and everything, it's a very beautiful farewell and a thank you to his fans, because nobody wanted to see him go. I mean, he didn't steal the other guy's line, but you know what I mean. He basically said it. He liked this face, and we all like that face too and everything. And a special guest even said he had the most beautiful face. So yeah, and everything. So yeah, this is the letter he left to his fans, and we could take a moment to read it. We'll leave it on the screen if you guys want to read it and everything. Because if I try, like I said, you'll kill me and everything. But to come in at this time in a transitional, because I know what we're going to talk about tonight, and a lot of us are still trying to wrap our heads around what happened and everything, but it's up to you guys, the fans. If you want to talk to a certain ears place and everything, or anything, like where do you want to see your doctor? Because right now we just have to worry about the war between the land and the sea, which sort of looks really good, but I don't know. And everything. And also news, any YouTuber out there, please do not use that 3D feature if you're trying to promote your shows or anything. It messes with people with visual cortexes and learning disabilities and everything. I know of one or a couple that have done it, but some have corrected it. But if you're thinking of it's a new look to your stuff, don't do it. It gives people a headache. Otherwise, that's the news, because the headache we have tonight, I don't even know what I'm going to review it at. So, Shooty, please tell us this was all a dream and we come back to reality later and everything. But that's the news and everything. Hopefully tonight's review, we're not going to butcher this thing.
But that wouldn't be reality war, would it, really? The whole concept is reality war.
Well, we're fighting it right now, because that was not reality. I'm going to be honest with you. That was not reality.
We already know your rating.
Yeah.
It's going to get a nice rating because there's a future doctor in there. It's because of the future doctor. That's the only reason I'm giving it a good rating.
I'm gonna put you on the spot. What rating do you have?
Well, it started out because I had to add in the last episode and everything. So I was like, okay, it started at 9. I thought, oh, cool, we're getting in. Then I see Omega. Then I see this. And I go like 8, 7, 6, and then the only that saved me was when I saw Doctor Who. I'm gonna say it, Unleashed. I'm gonna give them a shout out. The littlest actress of everything, and it went back up. So I'm going anywhere between a 6 and a 6.5.
All right.
Okay.
And
wait a minute. Let's make this.
Let's end this.
Yeah, let's make it official.
Official. And you like my TARDIS?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Then nobody. Yeah, I didn't know how. I was shocked when I saw the control panel in there. I didn't realize that was a TARDIS. I did not realize. That's why I kept it up for this episode. I was like, let the guys see this. But yeah, no, 6.5, 6.5, and that's because that little cuteness. Sorry, I that cuteness.
Nope, I'm very confused as to my thing. I can see I've got YouTube running at, of course, a delay on my screen over here, and it's not what I see on my screen in StreamYard. So
I would say take your phone and put YouTube on, and then you can see what. Yeah.
I was going to say put YouTube on your phone. That should do it. Because
that's what I've done. Is I've got it over here on my iPad.
Sorry, guys.
I can see the credits, the pop-ups and the comments and whatnot. But I can't. But for whatever reason, it doesn't show me who's like. It just shows me the three of us: me, Christian, and Candyman.
That might not be a bad thing. Anyway,
gee, thanks.
Time just repeated on itself.
You have to forgive us, team. StreamYard did a massive update, and it's throwing a monkey wrench in our show right now. But Dave can't see.
That's because time is out of sync by 1 point whatever degree.
Yeah, Dave can't see half the screen, and if you're familiar with StreamYard, we used to be able to move videos and pictures around easily, and not only that, we can move people around. And now it's not letting us do any of that. I think there's.
I would say, why don't you hit the refresh button, Dave, like I just did, because I only had seen you on the screen, and that's when I got this back.
No,
yeah, when we go to commercial,
don't do it.
Please
don't do it.
Move.
That's what I'm saying. When commercial, like just hit the and see if it works.
I can move the pictures around.
You can move that, which is weird. I can't. You can though. That's weird.
Yeah, and the same for videos because I moved that because I uploaded the new countdown.
Well, the videos you can upload, but for some reason you only can move them to the top, whereas I can move them in any direction and move them around, of course, on the layout. But with the new layout, you can only move it to the top, so only becomes the first video. So I'm just like, okay, whatever.
I don't know. I just made it the fourth video.
Everybody likes our technical stuff.
Anywho, let's get some more numbers and then we'll go to commercial.
Subscribers to this in a couple of hours.
And when we go to commercial, I'll restart my browser and stuff and come back in and see if it solves the issue.
All right. Well, hopefully this works. I'm pushing the button. Everything goes to hell.
Candyman, what about you? What did you give this?
Okay, you ready for this?
No,
I'm a bit scared.
Yeah.
You ready? Okay.
Not really, but go ahead, sir.
5.
Woo.
Damn. Ouch.
I almost missed the spit take.
No decimal points this week.
Oh, it's on my keyboard.
No point numbers. Just flat 5.
He just wants to go first.
You just want to, because we got to get this thing over with.
Nick, you want to go for a lower number? I meant anyway.
Yeah, Nick, what about you? What are you going to go for?
I'm going to give this a big, fat, juicy, sexy 8 out of 10.
Okay. He really wants to go last.
Adams.
Oh wait, sorry. I told you this is just not working out.
Well, I waffled on it a bit. I had 2 ratings for it. Either I was going to go a little bit high with a 1.5 or low with a 1.3.
Oh, God.
So I'm going to go ahead and say 1.4.
Wow, 1.4. Ouch. Well,
like I said, the cuteness made me go up. Otherwise, it was.
Zion, what about you?
You got to beat 1.4.
1.5.
What do you got, my friend?
1.5.
Oh my God!
I told you.
Good taste.
Saved it.
Good taste.
Saved it with me was the cuteness.
Good call.
All right.
Oh. Well,
what we'll do is
we will finale. That really is wow.
That is the first time in a
Adams after we come back from a commercial break.
And, are you sure?
Bottle around. Just pass the bottle around.
Oh my
God! I love how wide-ranging this is. How about that?
I'm going to reset my stuff and I'll be back.
I'm going to get the soda out of my keyboard after that spit take.
Oh God!
Yeah.
So Dave's going first, just right behind Zion, who .1'd it on a 1-pointer. So there we go.
You are the next contestant on The Price is Right.
That's right. All right. Well,
Oh,
Dave, your call. You ready for the commercial break?
Yep.
All right. When we return, I guess we'll be back.
just so Princess knows we can get out of the
He's
computer.
going to refresh his screen. I'm going to try to keep my composure. And no, I guess he's not. We'll be right back after the commercial break if there is one.
Are you a movie nerd? Do you collect VHS, DVDs, CDs, records, and so much more? Are you looking for clothing from 1940s to 2000s? Do you need cosplay or themed outfits? Come to Ducky's Vintage. We have it all for all budgets, located at the Oviedo Mall right off of the 417. Ducky's Vintage for those born in the wrong decade.
I'm author Mark Muncy.
And I'm author Erica Lance.
And this is Eerie Travels.
Greetings, travelers. Join us as we travel through folklore, myths, monsters, legends, and dark history.
Now, we'll be your guide to the spooky side of reality as we discuss cryptids, paranormal, and all things preternatural.
Sometimes we find the truth is way scarier than fiction.
We're on twice a week on your favorite podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube.
We have amazing guests from all of the areas of the strange and unusual, including witnesses, investigators, and more.
Yeah, with Erica's curiosity and ridiculous array of pop culture and true crime knowledge.
And Mark's decades of experience diving into folklore and the legends with the truth that's behind them.
Yeah, so join us, travelers, as we take you to the edge of reality, and we'll see you on the other side.
I didn't listen to that voicemail. I'll tear open that letter you sent. Don't you tell your friends I want you back. I gotta leave you now and unread, because you've already said those words that switch my heart to dead from loving you. So you'll stay ghosted and I'll stay focused on sewing clothes. The spell stays unspoken, a dark silhouette of a marked man and broken. Right down, I didn't listen to that voicemail or TikTok, that story you sent. Don't you reel me in to get me back. I'm gonna leave you now.
Oh, sorry.
I'm Eric Roberts, and this is a legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
And
I give up. I give up. I surrender.
Holy water.
We're back, and I can see everything properly.
Oh, good.
Hello.
Ooh, there we go.
Oh.
Well, now you got the features back that go like that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's
Holy water.
but yes, I can see everything just fine. I can see Shooty's head popping up over top of Candyman. He's kind of sitting there.
Like coming out of the lollipops and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my.
Where are
we?
Just fathoming this.
This is just really hard to navigate. That's all I'm gonna say.
Guys, get 100,000. We got to get to 100,000 after all this. This is just
Well, we've got numbers all over the board.
Mainly on the bottom.
Some people loved it. Some people hated it. Some people just loved the barbecue sauce.
I would love to try it if it didn't have fish in it.
Yeah. Anywho, starting at the bottom of the pile, we've got Mr. Grisbane Adams at a 1.4.
Generous 1.4.
Generous 1.4. What?
Yes.
Did work? What did work for you? I guess.
Well, I mean, to paraphrase Captain Edmund Blackadder, it started badly. Then it sort of lost its way in the middle, and well, the less said about the end, the better. What worked? Whitaker had fun with not being written by an idiot for the first time ever.
Oh my God! Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Chris Chibnall's entire run was awful because of Chibnall. She did her best with what she was handed.
David, I'm sorry. The dog just jumped me. She ran in the room and just jumped me. She came out of nowhere, just like stealthy, and just like, hi. Go ahead.
I agree.
No worries.
It's that kind of show tonight.
Indeed. Anita came back. I loved the Christmas episode, so I was glad to see her, even though they didn't bother to actually use her in any real constructive way, except one that I'll mention later on.
She held the door open.
Yeah, exactly. She was a doorstop. Well done. I'm always happy to see Billie Piper. I mean, I like her. I don't like that. But,
because we want to. Because we want to.
Oh my God. She looks like she's faking it.
And I mean,
Bad AI.
How much are you paying me again? Okay.
And another thing I like is that Gatwa is gone and the series cannot hurt him anymore. I think that this season has sucked enough that this was at serious risk of being a lead weight around his ankle while he's got a very promising career starting. Well, he's already in progress, but he's becoming a bigger name partially as a result of Doctor Who. But I'm glad he's moving on to other things so that, he doesn't have to, fanny about with the things in episode 1, 2, the last one, this one, And there are a couple of things. They planted seeds that might feed into better things. But given how often they've done that in this season and then done nothing with it, who knows? But and I will give a shout out to my friend Dave on this one. He noticed it. I was kind of tuned out by the time it actually came up. But both Anita and Belinda were impregnated by somebody with a name that's a variation of Richard and Ricardo. Which suggests that somebody's trying to make a river song. And if that's what they're going for, it'll be interesting. Would have been nice if this had been interesting too, though. Because I'll try and get through some of this. It's a little disjointed.
But no less than the episode.
Yeah.
Terrible writing. Just terrible writing. Bad script. And I know all the reasons for it. I mean, the simple and unfortunate fact is that it had to be rewritten on the fly. They already filmed an ending and then they had to replace it. It was not supposed to be Gatwa's final episode, but he had a career to think about and got on his way. The first third is just basically straight exposition. I mean, there's a solid 5 to 10 minutes in there where the Rani and the Doctor are just talking at each other, trying to explain what the heck is going on with the vain hope that maybe we'll care about it, even though they didn't actually show us any of it. Then it turns into mindless action. The big bad shows up for 20 seconds, gets sneezed on and dies, so that we can move on to the end of Wish World, and then the most forced, backwards, weird. Oh no, Poppy doesn't exist anymore. We knew her for a minute. I'm sorry, I don't find her. I mean, I'm sure if you like kids, she's cute, but I don't care. Certainly not enough to break the universe to go get her and make sure she exists. You went and saved me when I didn't exist. Yes, because you were a grown person who was in all these things. This was wished into existence. This person did this thing didn't exist. And it doesn't work. It just didn't work for me. And then, I mean, yeah, great. Billie Piper. I love Billie Piper as an actress. The entire Wish World reality war thing, it's just become a, really most of this season, or a lot of this season, has been it's a greatest hits CD. This episode should have been advertised at 3 a.m. between soft porn movies. That's all. That is what RTD has done to the series.
I feel dirty.
He's too busy drinking in the back room to actually write anything and come up with anything new and interesting. He just keeps, okay, and here's an old character you remember from the show. Oh, here's the Ronnie. We haven't done anything with her in all of New Who, and she's hugely important. Not going to explain why, though. I mean, I'm just going to have her there, and then a bunch of fans are going to wet their seats over it. And let's just go ahead and losing you again. Billie Piper's here. Susan, we have Susan. Feh.
Think about maybe.
Tell us how you really feel, Dave.
Out of 10.
You can't handle how I really feel.
You said the P word. I like it. It's the first time I think anybody's mentioned the P word on our show.
He waited.
Well, David, I have a question. If you could pick one or two items that were positive of this episode, what would it have been?
Well, I mean, like I said, I liked seeing Whittaker. I liked the interaction between her and Gatwa, because partially that was just sort of, I in a cynical way, it was Davis lampshading the fact that things have changed. The Doctor is evolving as a character, and both of these two have different takes on the Doctor than perhaps were expected traditionally, but they are still the Doctor. They are still consistent with the essence of the Doctor, but they have more with Gatwa had more emotional range and freedom with telling people that they love, or telling people that he loves them and whatnot. I really liked that. And of course, I mean, had she been actually used for more than just a doorstop and what I think, or what I agree with my friend Dave, is a seed of a future plot line, I loved seeing her anyway. Yeah. And I had more. I don't actually remember exactly what it was. So, yeah.
Okay. That's a positive note. All right, the show's over now.
God. You guys, I know you guys are watching me crying backstage. I am like in tears.
Speaking
I'm scared with Zion. I'm scared.
Speaking of Speaking of crying, Dave, can I show the face video? Because we
sure.
Or do you want to do that later?
Okay, yeah, go for it. And then we'll do Zion.
This is our good friend Faith Kelly. She makes the thumbnails, and she's also our premier 13th Doctor, and she is a big fan of the 13th Doctor. But she wanted to make sure that everybody saw her reaction when she saw the 13th Doctor show. So, without further ado, here is our lovely.
That's hers. Yeah.
Here's our lovely Faith.
Is not the other guy, he is always turning up. The other guy?
Does it really need to be bigger? In a room defined by its bigness?
So why are you here?
It's actually her. What is she doing here?
This is gonna eat my soul. No chance of my generation.
No chance of what? That's all of it. Tell me why, mate.
Going strong.
We never change. Why then?
Good luck. I love you, Doctor.
Me too. I never said things like that.
That's why you got me.
I should say not to yes.
You never do. But she knows. Oh.
Bye, Doctor.
Goodbye, Doctor. I should see that again.
Oh my god.
Sorry, did I say that was the reaction at 13? That was reaction to Dave's critique. So,
you know what the sad thing is? I had to keep that so secretive, and I knew if she found out, she would have been. That's her. I like her reaction there because if she knew, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That because I wasn't gonna do that to her. I wasn't gonna tell her. But I wanted to tell her so bad, but I couldn't because I know she loves Jodie so much and everything.
And Faith, what was your number? I know you're in the comments section. So since we've just done your video, we might as well
Faith, I'm still trying to figure out why Facebook is messed up. I know I got you on Instagram still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, while we wait for Faith's number on top.
I know
of
that's why I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it to her. I wanted her raw reaction when she saw it.
7.5.
7.5. Okay.
That is a reasonable number. Also, I mean, every number is a reasonable number if we explain it the right way. So let's go to a also apparently reasonable, but we approve of all opinions. Zion's 1.5.
Have you guys ever seen an alley-oop?
Say it again.
Have you ever seen an alley-oop?
I know the song alley-oop.
In basketball, never mind. Each way,
okay.
I have a lot to say. I had a whole lot to say. I cut it down like at least 5 times. Reality War. What is there to say about the first half of this story? I'm sure we all already covered it in the first season, but here we go. The definitive Ronnie is eaten by Skeletor. I mean, Omega, the CGI slot monster. Miss Flood runs to get ready for her next set of season-ending cameos. Omega gets hand-waved back into his hole by the Vindicator with the force of a billion supernova. So that's what we've been waiting for. We waited two seasons of cameos of Miss Flood for this. While I'm on hand waving, why does all of a sudden the power of billions of stars not mean nothing? Like I get it's fiction, but like this is sci-fi. Even if 0.5% of the Vindicator's energy, I don't remember the exact number, but it's like somewhere, it's like billions. If you put 0.5% of the exact number, you get 5 million supernova. That would destroy not Omega, not the planet, but the entire solar system and maybe even Alpha Centauri. If you focus it, because if you remember, it's distributed around the planet. If you focus on one spot, what's going to happen to that exact spot? Apparently nothing, according to RMTD, but apparently he didn't care about that. apparently he only cared about the emotional bits. So let's get to that. The whole season revolved around Belinda getting home. Yet this finale does her a big disservice because even though she's a season's companion, she was put in a corner during her swan song while Ruby goes off and fixes reality. This should have been Belinda. Ruby has been in one singular episode besides the last one, and Belinda's been in all of them. So like this is like the equivalent of having Rose come in during March's world run and saving the Doctor. Have Rose do it while Martha's just telling stories. I think that's how I feel about it. About the Poppy thing, I find it abhorrent that like we changed this woman's timeline to the point where she now has this mystery baby, and the Doctor is just like nice. Okay, but whatever. To touch upon Conrad, I get this whole story about changing reality, but like, what's the message you're actually trying to tell here? If we're trying to tell a message about being happy and healing, or at least that's what he was trying to say, it must come from inside, right? And not from external wish from a different person. I say this from personal experience because I've had to grow a lot within within this year. And a big thing, a massive thing I've learned is that you have to find your own happiness. You can't get something out of nothing. You can't get stuff for free. Let's go, Rush. If someone was just to wish away your unhappiness, that would be great, but you wouldn't grow. Conrad didn't grow. He was just hand-waved into happiness, and then everyone just looked at Ruby like, oh my goodness, such a savior. Great job. And I'm like, really? What was the message? Shooty's regeneration. This is the only good thing here. Not his regeneration. I am devastated about his regeneration. But the only good thing is 13 showing up, because it is a perfect example of how I feel about this run, or like the last couple runs. Untapped potential. Once again, we've had bits of this during all of Jodie's run. You give her just a crumb, just a small crumb of good writing, and she'll bake you an entire cake. An entire cake. We are living off that one scene still. And I don't know about you guys, but I felt it. When you see these moments where you give her these parts, she feels like a part of the pie. You could look at her in the eye and you could see the Time Lord through her eyes. And like, I just see, and the same thing happens with Shooty. You get these small points where you can look at her and say, yep, that's him. That is him. And it's just a blown opportunity. Like, we've seen how this whole Doctor, actor, and actress run goes. Season 1, they get their feet wet. Season 2, they build on top of the first season, and they get the flesh out. By the third season, we're already loving them and wishing that they get time like Tom Baker. We've seen this with 11 and Amy. They are a perfect example. With 15th generation, we are robbed of that. For the classic fans, imagine this for a second. Imagine that for the 7th Doctor, it was canceled in season 25. No Fenric, no Battlefield, no New Adventures as we know it. How will we think of 7 then? How about Capaldi in 2016 after series 9? Heaven Sent and Hell Ben are great swan songs, but he had a phenomenal 10th series. Still to this day is seen as one of the top 5 in some people's top 3's best series of the modern era. What would happen if we didn't have World Enough in Time or The Doctor Falls? Where would this show be if these particular doctors didn't reach their zeniths? And that's what happened with Shooty. We'll never see him fight the Daleks or Davros. We'll never see him fight the Cybermen. He'll never meet 14 and Dawn again. 15, we have 15. 15 will never save Rogue from Hell Dimension. He may never even find out why Ruby even snowed. But hey, I guess, is this a product of the time that we live in? Is this a product of that shows are not allowed to breathe like Star Trek and get 7 seasons with 26 episodes. I don't know. All I know is that it's not fair. Last bit, as for Billy Piper, I'll keep it brief. She could be the moment and not actually the doctor, but this reeks of desperation and creative bankruptcy, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a wounded cub asking for its mother to help it again and again and again. But like eventually, we've seen this in nature. The mother eventually just says that's a dead baby, and we just move on, right? This show's hallmark used to be about moving forward from historical education to strict sci-fi. Old grandpa turns into someone that you could say he needs to still do his homework in Matt Smith, right? And then into Jody, and then into Ncuti. Going backwards to Tennant was like his doctor provoking superstition at the end of time in Wild Blue Yonder. They shouldn't have done that, and it will bite them in the end. Because I ask myself, what's stopping them from just doing it again? And here we are with them just doing it again. So what's stopping Matt Smith from coming back? What's stopping Clara from just doing it? That's like Star Wars with certain things, where like you can't move on from the Empire. You must move on. And that's about all I have to say about that.
All right. That's a lot to say and a lot of good. And
That's a lot,
of,
yes.
No,
well, now the show's over, so I'm like,
very well.
Sorry.
Y'all really care about this stuff.
Yeah, and that's what we love. That's why we're all here, because we love this stuff. Whether it's for better or for worse,
for richer or poorer.
Till regeneration do we part? No.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes.
Someone pass me that bottle, please.
Yes, could he just send that straight for me?
Yeah. Well, now that you passed off the drink, Mark.
Yeah.
Wait. Do you actually have a drink there? Because yeah. Oh God, he does. Yes. And what is that noise?
5.
I have no
or
idea.
the writer's room. Just getting out of Dodge.
What?
I wish I had root beer. That's the strongest I can have.
What the heck was I watching?
I was there with you. I don't know.
Okay. Best way to describe it for the US terminology was like watching the Chicago Bears trying to win a game in the 59th minute left just to fumble it. It was literally, it had so many eggs all over the place, and they just copped out. Russell T. Davies, I love some of your writing, but seriously, my 13-year-old nephew doesn't watch it anymore because it's gone off track after Chibnall and Jody. He doesn't like the woke policy, and he's 13 years old. It's supposed to be designed for a new generation, but yet you bring back legacy characters which the new generation has not even heard of. And then I've got a friend who lives in Spain who basically grew up with modern Who, and he's still basically saying it's too much in your face. I'm getting this from every single direction, and I'm sitting here. I've tried to do tried to do spoiler free, watching this episode, and it had I think it's trying to please everyone, but yet it's alienating everyone at the same time. Because, yeah, bringing back Caroline Ford, Melanie, Billy Piper, yes, that's good for the nostalgic. But the new people, this was designed for New Who. They have no idea what they're going to go back and try to watch what's going on, or are you trying to? It's like, what is Doctor Who becoming this episode? And look, was I watching even Star Wars? Because like when Stark Tower unit goes into battleship mode, it was firing ion cannons, which was just ripped off from Star Wars, while looking like Stark Tower. So was I watching Doctor Who? Was I watching Marvel? Or was I watching Star Wars? I don't know. Credits due.
Disney owns all of them.
Yeah, this is my problem.
I'm waiting for that episode.
Yeah,
all of them.
It felt like it was a crossover. The sorry, it was just like it just had potential and then just copped out. Oh, you're not my daughter. Okay, my friend from Spain told me that it said Poppy 54 times in this one episode alone. He actually counted it.
Poppy, Poppy, Poppy.
54 times they mentioned Poppy in one episode. And she comes out to be a total cop-out because it's not the time of child. She's just some child that Belinda got knocked up with after they split up with it, and because parents were going off to a music concert, she had to be there. What? Yes, I know the writing was basically written because it was going for her. And what did they do to Omega? Seriously. It looked like something out of like, I don't know. It wasn't Omega. It's like
that'll be in my review.
Yeah, what a waste of it. It was like there for 30 seconds. The very good thing was the still Rassilon. That was classic. But I think the problem and I've said this to many people in the bars because my bar where I was watching it also loved Doctor Who as well. We've got so many locals who watch Doctor Who, different generations. And the problem I'm thinking that Doctor Who is suffering is it doesn't know what its target audience is. Because I think this episode, I've said it right again, is suffering from Star Wars Episode 1. It's shiny, but got no substance. Yeah. I feel like the only one good episode in this season, I think, was the Well. I think that was done really well. Everything else, everything feels like it's just put there. It's and because it's gone out worldwide, I think it's lost a lot of its quintessential Britishness. It's not like it's all nice and happy and shiny, and everyone's kind of happy, and I'm going to love you, and you're going to love me back, and everything's going to be like this, and I'm going to be like the Muppets of Sesame Street. And
Lots of hugs.
Yeah, it's like when you watch. I think I pulled up an image of season 1 with Crystal Atkinson, and you see the set of Rose Tyler's council estate flat, run down, dirty, messy, everything in a way, and then you compare it to like now, and everything's in the thing. It's like I think it's just like it's just too neat, too nice, and it's not British anymore. Does that make sense?
I think so.
I'm glad you mentioned that because there was something else I wanted to bring into that. If you're somebody who, for the first time, is watching Doctor Who on Disney Plus, you've never heard of this series before, and then you catch it and see it. I mean, one of the things that I was, when we got to the new series was one of the things that was great about RTD when he started, he knew to start with Christopher Eccleston. He didn't do a regeneration scene because there was a new group of people. How it's the perspective from somebody who is watching Disney Plus from the first time, who doesn't know anything about the history, and how moving forward this is. I would be totally confused.
Exactly, and this is what
I meant to get all the memory berries in all at once for absolutely no reason, just to have them in, and somebody coming out and going into it and going, okay, what is it? Who's this? What's that? That's great for us and the who grew up throughout Doctor Who, but for somebody who's entertaining it, when I thought it would move to Disney Plus, I thought Ncuti was going to be almost like the first Doctor of this.
Yeah, it was soft reboot. That was the aim.
It doesn't even have to be a soft reboot. You can still bring in the old stuff, but you're going to have to explain it to people. And it was like, oh, look at this. And I call it the Moffat. You've been Moffat it. When Stephen Moffat was coming up and going, I remember one season he said, well, the Master's not returning. The Master's not returning. And everybody knew the Master was returning. And we were just like, okay, so what? Oh, it's Missy. Yeah, we used to call him the Master, but okay, whatever floats your boat there.
And then with Varani as well. I like Varani. I thought Varani was a very, very good, strong character. And then in 2 seconds, she gets eaten up by Omega. What the hell? it was like, okay, I'm glad that Mrs. Floods is still alive and she can still be Varani, but does she now? Can she bigenerate? Can she regenerate now? And what the heck did reality we fall on when the Time Lords can't have children because they're infertile? Does that mean that the whole of the orphanage and all the other canon story is now lost? Because basically the Doctor grew up in an orphanage, okay, but he's not from Gallifrey. So does that mean that he is infertile because he's technically not a Time Lord? What the heck is going on? And then when he regenerated, he talks to Joy of the World, that bright star which we see over Bethlehem. Nice. And that was going back to his Christmas special. You got Anita, which is what David said. Just here you go. Here's the door. That as soon as he opened the door and cop out, it was like, oh, we've just got back to the hotel again. We can now go through doors. Great. It was just like and just like and then Billy Piper regenerates into whatever, because it's not even listed as the Doctor. It just says introducing Billy Piper. Is she a Doctor? Is she a moment? Is she just some random placeholder for the next Doctor? We don't know. You know what? If they didn't build up if they didn't build up all the stuff I had in the first part, maybe this would have been an okay episode. Okay, without all the memory berries and stuff like that. And to see Jodie back on screen, I was like, meh, it's Jodie. I know a lot of people in here like Jodie, but to me, I find Jodie like a second-rate science school teacher. I know people have got their own views and people can disagree with me. I'm absolutely fine with it.
Can I at least ask Faith to leave the room first before you go on?
Poor girl's heart is going to break.
No. Your chats are going to go nuts.
We also going to need smelling salts if we take her to see Jodie.
Okay, I think Jodie did Doctor Who a world of good because it basically introduced like a lot of people, females and girls, into Doctor Who, which I completely appreciate. But throughout her season, only one time I saw that she could possibly be the Doctor, and that was in the episode Demons of Punjab. Okay, the rest of it was just like, okay, you're just basically telling the companions what they're thinking and what they need to do, and then go up to her and go, oh, you got the best face, but please don't tell all the other guys. What? You're still the Doctor, and you're telling me that you're the best male face, but don't tell anyone because I've got a better face than you. Get over yourself. Sorry. Sorry, I will go on forever. I'm going to keep my mouth shut now. I'm going to let whoever go after doing it, because I could go on for ages and ages about this episode. So that's why
Gadget. Gadget is the next one.
That's why I gave it a 5. I don't like it. I don't dislike it. And I have not given it a point. And if I don't give it a point, it means I probably don't. I'm just going to go, meh. So I'm halfway down the mind.
There we go. So, Gadget.
Yeah.
You 6.5.
Yeah, that's only because of Poppy.
54 times. 54 times.
Yeah, but you understand. I like cuteness. I like kids. I understand and sympathize with the Doctor about the other thing that the Ronnie mentioned, they can't and everything, because I understand. That's why I was very happy that the Doctor was able to have a child, but was it really a child or was it a wish and everything? And when he blew the wish away and everything and stuff, did that, because every time they folded the coat, it was literally the memory was going. She was like Gossamer out in the air and everything, like he said. She melted away like Gossamer. But I really wish they put Muzak in that booth and everything, because I want to find someone who did the Dugadoo version of it and everything, because it was just stupid where it was like they're all fighting. Next thing you know, we're in the elevator. I'm like, really? And everything like that. Okay. But I also was laughing because I saw, let's see, what was it? I'm trying to think of what it was. the flying scooter, because that reminded me of Flash Gordon, and also like Ncuti said he felt like he was the Green Goblin and everything and stuff, and or the Hobgoblin, whatever it was on the scooter and everything. And then I'm sitting there, I'm going like, did he just rip off Attack on Titan? Because that's the scene in Attack on Titan when the big Titan comes and it picks up the people and it eats them. And when Eren Yeager and all of them have to go after the Titan and everything, and I'm sitting there going like, I know Ncuti likes, because I met him through Asa when he was promoting sex education and everything, but I know he loves anime. I love that, but everything I kept seeing was everything from Marvel, anime, you name it in there. That's why when I got to Poppy, I was just like, please.
I mean, the Titans are several thousand years old Greek mythology.
Mm-hmm. But if you watch Attack on Titan, the anime, you will understand where that scene comes from.
Oh, I know, but that's where Attack on Titan got it from.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's just like hysterical.
Attack on Titan didn't create Titans eating people.
No, but it was just that scene was exactly mirrored one of the scenes and everything. But it was just too crazy because it was like, it started out good. I was going like, okay, we're going to finally figure out what's going on, that he gets his identity back. He gets everything. He sees Anita and everything. And she's so upset because she actually did like him. But then when she saw him with Rogue, it was like, she got thrown, like she said, thrown right into his arms, the other person and everything and stuff. And you can see the doctor's like, I understand and everything. And then all of a sudden it's like they come downstairs and Belinda's like, what are you wearing? Like everything. And then they go out and you see Poppy's there. You see Belinda. She's starting to realize, she goes, wait a minute. Wait, do we have a daughter? Wait, do I have a daughter? Wait, what is this? Like she's trying to fathom what's going on because reality is now sinking in and everything. And then he opens up into Unit and I'm like laughing because I love when Kate says, I'm wearing tweed. I'm like, okay. So I was like, I thought I was having a laugh. Like I was okay. It was interesting. Like you're getting to a point where it was like, okay, I'm going to ride with this. But then it just started going downhill every 5 seconds, downhill. And I'm like, he goes, you're blonder to Ruby. You're this and everything. And then you see Rosie show up and everything. And they're explaining the wish and everything. And then with the same thing with the Ronnie, she had the time bracelet and everything and stuff. And the look he gave, like, that's how you got here, huh? And everything. And then you see Mrs. Flood come in, and then the both of them are like, wait, that's my neighbor. They could have elaborated on it. It was too fast. It was too condensed. And like I said, there were 4 endings shot. And I don't blame Ncuti for like walking. I don't blame him because we didn't know where this was going, because I didn't even know where that was going that day. And I'm just seeing like, okay, are you filling in plot holes? You're dealing with someone who's an abusive child life you know what I mean? He wanted a life and he wished into something because he was listening to the doctor. Meanwhile, the doctor was the one that created Lucky Day. And then all this, like, is the doctor the cause of all this and everything? So, and then you see Ruby using what Freeman's character used to get into with the Asahagan key and everything, that damn jacket thing and stuff, just to get the baby and to make the wish to make him happy. I mean, I like what Kate said. Just punch him. Just punch him. I would love to punch some of my exes. Just punch them, you know, and everything and stuff. But it's like, it just went nowhere. And then they were in the TARDIS. They weren't in the TARDIS. And then the cot disappeared. It just was more sad seeing Poppy go, because, and then the gods play tricks. They were off by 1 centimeter or 1 section or whatever percentage of the earth and everything, where you got people alive that shouldn't be alive, this and everything, because it went all glitchy. But why is Ruby's memories like still intact? She wasn't glitching. She was still intact with everything. She remembered all the other lines and everything. So, and then when he goes to fix it, he literally gives Belinda a child, like, but she's human and everything. And then he says, remind me again and everything. And it was just one of those where, like, wait, I thought you had roommates upstairs. I mean, are you sharing a house and your mom comes over and everything and you share it with people and stuff? Or is it like a tenement house, like the way Ruby's house is and everything? Like, I was so confused. And Dad was missing in action. Both dads, actually, and everything, because I thought we were supposed to see both dads. Like, it just went. And then the ending I was told was that not Billy Piper. And I'm going to be honest, I was told it was going to be Michelle or some form of Michelle, where he's got to now figure out how to prove he's the doctor, because you're running around with the master's face. And then I was thinking, like what the heck and everything and stuff. Like, I would have wanted to see that. Or the other ending where you bring back the plot holes. Like, I thought this season was going to be, even though it was the shortest, and he got robbed. Ncuti got robbed on episodes and everything.
Mhm.
But I just was sitting there, like I said, the only reason I gave this the 6.5 was because that little one, oh God, Sienna, like she was like the best little, like for her age to be that alert and to be that on point. Like I said, I only gave it because that little actress will be stealing the scene if they bring her back. She is the next Doctor. I want her to be the next Doctor. I would have had her be, you know what I mean? Because we do have Time Lord DNA. We have Jenny. We have Rosie. We have Susan. We had Poppy and everything. But I'm like, there's Time Lord DNA floating around. Just RTD, turn a stone over or fill in some holes, you know, so we can find them. Because I would have loved to see Jenny come back. That would have been, or Poppy was the space baby, you know what I mean? And she was helping the Doctor. I would have loved that. Not this. Not this. This just went off a cliff.
All right.
Speaking of off a cliff, Dave, I want to welcome and thank. I forgot the banner this whole time, so we're going to give a special thank you for the super chat from Sethu, CryptoSeb.
And Eccleston did get his wish, though. He blew the cannon like this, like he said. He blew the cannon.
Well, it's not only that, but I'm going to add this comment in here because going back, sack RTD, sack Judy Gardner, sack someone else who I can't remember, and I'll come back. And I'm like, when
I couldn't.
Eccleston said that, and who's he say that in front of? Billy Piper, of all people, on the stage there. And it's just like, yeah, CryptoSeb, it's just like, when he said this, what was it? They released that video just days before the premiere of Disney Plus. I was like,
right.
I kind of almost thought that was a hint and a half that maybe we are going in the wrong direction. He knew something we didn't.
Because remember, they're doing the rating, they're doing Big Finish, they're doing all the other stuff. That's why I thought she was back for Big Finish. Not this. Not as a place filler. Not as I'm sitting there going like, please let it be Michelle. I want to see this. I want to see like him as Missy. I want to see this. You know what I mean? And stuff. And I'm like, what the hell? Like I did a 10 in what? I did a 10 in what? That's what I'm saying. It's like,
good.
Yeah.
That was the point.
Here's the question. Is reality actually fixed?
Well, I'm wondering if it's still in play from the toy mask, the whatever and everything. I'm still thinking it's in play because, you know.
Well, I mean, that's what I expected this episode to be in the first place, was like, it's the reality war. And we had the whole thing set up earlier in the season with stories have power and blah, blah. And this is like, and also like metafictional stuff where the Doctor is fictional, but not fictional, depending on what world you're in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I expected this to be much, I mean, in the same way that I expected the Clone Wars to not be just one rando cloned a bunch of times. I expected that to actually be something cool, like the original idea Obi-Wan Kenobi is clone Obi-Wan of General Ben Kenobi. That whole thing, I expected this to be the revelation that reality is just a story. It's a bunch of story. All realities are stories, and they were fighting for dominance. And I expected them to go into that somehow. And this is what I got.
Meh.
And I just hated the fact though when the Ronnie said she's tainted. That was my icing on the cake where I was like done, because she's contaminated with human DNA, and that was a throwback to McGann's and everything. But at the same time, that hurt me because I'm gonna I tell you guys, I can't have kids either, and I was so happy when the Doctor was able to have a kid. That was like, I was like, oh my God, I love that. That makes me feel better. You know what I mean? There's hope for people who can't. You know what I mean? But the Master made them infertile with the damn thing. That's why she did her bi-generation rehash and everything, as she claims and everything. And then you get this, but to say with Rosie sitting there, she's half Time Lord, okay, from Donna, because of the hand and everything. Okay, there's their DNA. Right? There's because they're tainted. She wouldn't take them, and I don't like that.
Also, I did want one of my other things. Sorry, Where the heck was 14 in his TARDIS while London was going to
Yes,
exactly.
That's why I'm saying there's something in play, and I am like sitting here going like, I thought because they ordered 26 episodes, we only had 16. Where's the friggin' rest of them?
It's all Mavity.
No, remember we got rid of it. Ronnie got rid of it with the gravity.
No, I hate that word. I hate
No, the Ronnie said it's gravity. She looked at him like Mavity. Yeah, okay, yeah, whatever. You know.
All right. So Nick has been sitting very patiently.
I want to know why he gave us an 8. I want to know.
Are you sure you still want to give it an 8?
Hey, I got my regeneration guy here.
This show doesn't need any cheerleaders. We all love this show. Yeah, I mean, I could talk about the problems I have with it, but we've all got problems. Let's talk about the good stuff. The lighting. Oh my goodness, we've got building blocks here, right? We got building blocks of what technically can be done with this show.
Well, they had to do it for cinemas.
The music, I love that music too. The main reason why I gave it such a high mark was because it was trying different things again, and I love it when this show tries to tell different stories. We can have relationship drama. We can, explore parenthood. What does parenthood mean to someone who, hasn't experienced it in this way before? So yeah, it could have just retreaded The End of Time or Caves of Androzani or something like that. But instead it was very experimental, probably too much so, because the way Gadget described it, look at all those ideas flying around and not really resolved the way we would like. But I want RTD to play. I want this show to be playful in the way that it's telling stories. It's not just another Alien of the Week story. We've got gods. We've got, the more I think about this, the more I listen to you guys, the more I want to talk about the problems. But I'm not going to.
Valor says you're never coming back.
I love the visuals. I will just throw one kind of issue I had with it was that just like Sutek, Omega, hashtag not my Omega, it was like Omega's guard dog. The beautiful design of his costume in Arc of Infinity. Imagine what they could have done with that, in this modern era. They could have really expanded on that. What's he doing in a tomb? He should be in some antimatter other universe, not under the floor somewhere. So it's kind of weird to me.
That's where I keep all my gods.
Yeah. RTD would bring back these characters as some kind of fan service, but then change them to be unrecognizable. But again, surprises. I like surprises. So I'm going to keep watching the show until something else happens that we don't like. And then we'll see.
We'll still watch the show, but we're now hate watching.
And then who's the boss?
No.
Who's the boss that they keep talking about? Because he says he had to park it. Like you had it with the Meep. You had it with who didn't need to say, oh, the boss says hi. I'm like, okay, what is going on here?
Well, we'll again, they can't tie everything up. This isn't the end of the show. So that and RTD has said for years that he's got seasons 3 and 4 plotted out. Now, Ncuti leaving is probably going to change some
Maybe
of that.
leaving.
But
it's all alleged. We don't know because she could be a place filler until he finishes his thing, and then
in theory,
let's go with that because she
he
wasn't
has-
like Candyman
the
said.
video of him
he's
saying
not
goodbye to
doctor.
the cast and crew is out there. So it's a pretty good theory that he's done. I'm willing to run with that.
Yeah, but so did Tenant.
And if not, I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, Candyman, Lieutenant. That's why
Yeah.
Ncuti made that comment. At least it's not the other guy.
Yeah, and I love that. I loved that Jodie came back. I loved her golden retriever puppy energy that she brings. It is definitely some of the best
Are
writing.
you just
for her.
calling Dave? Are you just calling Jodie Whittaker a dog?
Yes, he just did.
No, I called her energy, that of a dog. It is very
Can you
much.
believe that was a
retriever
wig?
puppy.
Can you believe that was a wig?
She is the most adorable thing out there, and I loved her. This was some of the best writing for her that has happened outside of Sophie Aldred.
You're wrong. This is the most adorable thing out there.
Bye, Rose.
God, no, burn with fire.
Good night, Rose.
Burn with fire.
Get away.
But I really did enjoy what she had to say. I give it an 8 as well. Was it perfect? It was far from perfect. I will fully acknowledge that. But the fact that it was a little over an hour greatly improved it. Someone in the comments somewhere back there said, "What would you do to reboot the series and get it back on track?" It would be, if we're gonna have 6 episodes, give us 6 hour to 90-minute episodes. Give us the Sherlock treatment.
Ooh.
For
Well,
only
we do have Hulock coming up with him in his movie.
Length episodes, and that would have fixed pretty much 75% of the problems I had with this last 2 seasons. Has come down to pacing. Usually too fast of pacing. So there was so much here. They could have easily gone 90 minutes. And it probably would have been better because they would have been able to take some of that 10 minutes of exposition that wasn't enjoyed and put it in a more palatable way. They would have been able to address some more of those loose threads.
Yeah, they can do high energy without having to make things so compressed.
Exactly.
Blink and you miss it. You know, we need a moment to kind of soak things in, and then they can throw something else at us.
You know, I know Mark didn't like the look of it. He thought it was too shiny. I thought that was brilliantly done, specifically because it was so shiny. I thought it was fabulous. It was one of the best looking, 2 of the best looking episodes, if you want to count them as 2 separate episodes.
Visually, of the special effects, Dave, I've got no thing about the special effects. Look absolutely amazing, but it just, I think, like I said, like when you watch episode 1, okay, episode 1, the special effects were amazing, but it just looked shiny. You know what I mean? It just looked too new.
Yeah.
The
world was new. It was a brand new world.
Yeah, but we
a
weren't.
whole new world.
A dream is a wish.
That's it.
Hey, that's my trick.
We'll have none of that. We'll have none of that, sir.
Well, yeah, the mouse is the problem right now.
First
The
of all,
mouse has got to make a decision.
I don't want to get a copyright strike because of this.
No, I kept it under like 20 seconds.
A minute.
Christian, did you know we're doing the Legend of Traveling TARDIS karaoke party afterwards? You invited?
Yes. Oh, I am. I'm not singing. That's for sure.
Hey, there's a plan. We'll have a Traveling TARDIS karaoke party at MegaCon one of these years.
Katie already took our Mr. Whatever and did a thing on Instagram with it. That was funny and everything. With the gig, whatever his name was, I forgot it already because that episode was forgettable.
Yeah, but other stuff that I liked, like I said, I did actually. I'm not going to say I liked what they did with Omega, but I also didn't not like it. Like, I think they could have done so much more with him and so much better with him. And he deserves to have much better done with him. But it kind of landed on par with what I kind of expected. If they weren't, they were either going to go and nail it, or they were going to gloss it over the same way they did Sutek.
I would have loved to see him take the doctor's face. That's what I'm saying. What? Omega should have taken the doctor's face.
I mean, they're still building to something with him. I mean, he's theoretically dead, but they're building to something with him because he's connected to the master. Like they very clearly used the drums over the seal when they were zooming in on it.
So we'll definitely see something. Yeah, hopefully we will see more of him and a better representation of him. But there was, I've seen some complaining online that, oh, the doctor shot him. That's so undoctorly. Except that's exactly how he beat him last time too.
That's why I was laughing at that part.
Like that is.
Oh, I don't have a weapon.
Exactly. Like that's exactly how he beat him the last time, and I kind of really loved that throwback without it being as in your face as a lot of them have been. I didn't
I'm waiting to see the
understand the
cosplay
two
for
Ronnies.
that one.
Other than the conversations we've had on here, I didn't get the two Ronnies F joke. I got the first half of it being, oh, no more two Ronnies. But I didn't get that second part was a line from the two Ronnies. I just, it's, the line still worked.
But she ran like a chicken.
Yes, exactly. I took it as, it's a good night for me. I'm still alive. Bye, y'all.
Oh,
Sad part, she does look like my grandmother. I have sent you guys pictures. She looks like my grandmother.
Yeah. and I hope we will see more of her. I loved Archie Punjabi, but she was too close to the master in her Ronnie. And that's what I didn't like about it. So I'm glad that she's the one who got eaten and that Mrs. Flood is still around and that we can have her back and we can see some of it because we've seen some of that Ronnie viciousness come out of her.
But you notice she still had the keys.
But
you notice she still had the keys hanging from her belt, right?
Yeah, like she's still got. There's tons left that can be done with her.
Mhm.
I don't know when. I don't care when.
Could she? Those be the keys of time?
Yeah. So we've got all sorts of stuff. Like there's all sorts of options for her. We've got options. You know, Omega's not dead. He just got pushed back into hell. We've
With
still
Rogue.
got that potential for storylines. We've still got, Rogue in the Hell dimension, which may or may not be linked to the Underverse that we were just seeing sinking.
Really?
So we might still get that back. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I know there were people who still think that was Jack, and it really did feel a lot like him in that particular bit. I could totally hear that in John Barrowman's voice very easily. I almost wonder if that's why they did it the way they did it, being just him on green screen and not telling anybody, so that if they could change that scene very quickly and easily without he's already there, he's filmed it, he's gotten paid, once essentially, and that's that. Same thing with Billy. They just pasted her face on Ncuti's body. Okay, I didn't love that. It looks silly.
Bad AI.
That wasn't even AI, but it probably would have looked better if it was AI. They just rotoscoped her head on. They filmed that 2 months ago in London with a minimal crew. Bang, bang, bang. We didn't get a face morph. We didn't get anything like that. They just went plop.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't love that. I hope that we get to that whatever comes after this, it picks up right there, because I think she will actually rock that outfit that he was wearing. Somewhere I saw some artwork of her in
someone did that. Yeah,
and I loved that. That was actually like, no, she's gonna rock that.
I
am disappointed that he wore that outfit for as much of the episode as he would have. I really would have liked him back in the orange trench coat, especially when he was in that final scene on the Green Goblin sled. I think that would have looked really, really good in that outfit.
I thought he was wearing that outfit to coincide with Robot Wars because he could go full circle. Get it?
Yeah.
That's why I thought he was wearing. That's the outfit he wore with Robot Wars or whatever.
So, it's hard to say, and they didn't really do that. So that's.
They did.
Overall, I think it went really well, and could have gone a lot worse. It could have been a lot better. I would have liked it to have been a lot better, but I enjoyed it for what it was, and I really did enjoy it. I watched it a second time, going, oh wait, I missed that the first time. Downside to running a show at the same time is you kind of miss some little bits. But there was so much. It was such a well produced piece of art, and as an episode, it ranks up there as one of the nicest looking and best working episodes in that visual sense. So that goes a long way for me. So that's kind of where I'm at. we've gone from 1.3 to 8, all the way across the board, and everything in between.
Just show the cutenesses. You got one sitting on his shoulder. Can we see Poppy again? I mean,
see, and I don't find Poppy particularly wonderful either.
I think she's adorable.
I appreciate Poppy, but
come on, she's adorable in Space Babies. I mean, look at that face.
And they're both.
I mean, Belinda just looks like get this kid out of my arms, but yeah.
And now it's 56 times on saying Poppy on the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Exactly. So what were some of our
Who's
audience numbers out there, Christian?
What's that?
What are some of the audience numbers?
Okay.
What did they think?
Here's her Eccleston.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, let's bring her back.
Oh God.
Okay. Oh God, because
Can we make this the TARDIS? I mean, look at how nice this looks.
we have the prior chats from the watch party, so
Yes,
let's go
some of
to
those.
it.
Mhm.
And there's a lot,
Oh,
so
God.
I'll be running through them. Stevek, I think that's how you pronounce it. Billy Piper, that's all they can come up with. RTD, truly a cretin. I've come back solely to insult his fans, and he succeeded. This was the most nauseating episode I ever seen. Tell us how you're really feeling. And I think also what we talked about earlier, David, that this is why I think when RTD said he was going to make it more fantasy than sci-fi, I was like, you really are going into a realm that we...
Was he drinking when he did this?
The Critical Drinker says it's best when they were talking about, how the Time War was time locked, and he goes, he uses the S word, stuff that we shouldn't be screwing with. Type deal is just at some point you just like leave that alone out there. Some questions came up. Online Odie's. What about the whole thing with Susan, his granddaughter? And that is a good question. It was just like it was
the other ending.
I was plotted out for season 3-4 reveal, and we'll see come season 3-4.
My problem with that is that Carol Ann Ford is extremely old. She could drop tomorrow.
Bite your tongue.
I'm just saying, because
don't put that in the universe.
She is one of the first, if not the first companion, right? She's the last of.
She's going to be at a certain convention I do not name.
Of the first 3 seasons, right? If you're going to do it now. Good thing Russell on that we got William Russell on before he went. So if you're gonna do it now.
Yeah. And I mean, that's not saying she hasn't filmed stuff for 3-4.
You don't know because
we don't know that. So there's certainly a possibility that there's more.
Universe.
Well, the show's on hiatus right now, so I mean.
The ending said that she had Poppy and her. Like one version of the ending said she had, and she was watching them have fun, and everything. There's another version that she came to give him a message. There's so many versions.
And I mean, the fact that it's on a hiatus of whatever length that may be, and I'm hoping it won't be a long one. The Rogue bit was filmed 3 years ago. That means the fact it could be on a hiatus for 20 years. If she filmed something, it's still there. She filmed it on a green screen.
But the thing is, why is it on hiatus to begin with? 2 years, that's it, and we're done.
Shorted episodes.
Clearly, that came down to negotiations with Disney. Like that's a pretty obvious answer there. They have to know where they're putting the show before they can put it into the show.
Right.
A lot of what that Disney money went into making the show 4K rather than 2K quality. And why would they spend that money to do it in 4K if they don't need to? Right. So
I mean, this is the mouse we're talking about here, and it's just like there are some decisions that I've seen them over time make. I'm like, my head is just spinning.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I'm just like, why? The biggest question: why are you doing this? Why are you going this route? And I'm not just talking about our boy. I'm talking about a lot of shows, a lot of movies. I'm just like, why are you going this route?
Well, they did say the War Between the Land and the Sea is going to be on Disney Plus, so let's see what happens.
Right, but
So that's
is that going to be spillover from people are going like, who's watching this now?
And are we going to review
For
it?
us, at least when it was on the BBC and you had Class and you had Sarah Jane, you had Torchwood, there was enough generated excitement from an audience that was spilling over into those shows. Is there enough excitement going on right now with Disney Plus? And I do question it a lot, because here's the thing. I meant the yaysayers were saying that Disney Plus had come out and said that Doctor Who was the 5th most watched show on their service. And my first question is, I'm an Asian guy. I need numbers. You just can't tell me that. And what do I mean by that is, well, 5th place can mean anything. I mean, the first place can have 10 million and 5th place could all be down by, 10,000. So what does that mean essentially? What generates an audience? We've never seen those numbers as of yet. I'm not
But
looking.
we've seen those numbers on the BBC side, and it doesn't seem to matter to anybody. It was the number one. It was number 2, 1, 2, 3 most popular scripted show.
Yeah, but that's counting against it then.
And saying, oh, this is a failure. It's the lowest ever viewing numbers, but it still was the number one show. So that says a whole lot.
But
that's counting against it.
I'm sorry, but
yeah,
I'm about to say the same company that said it was 5th place on Disney Plus also said that Captain America was the number 1 movie that weekend.
Yeah, that's a difference between numbers and marketing.
Hang on, it didn't say that it was going to lose money. Snow White was the number 1 movie in the world.
And for one weekend, it might have been.
Meanwhile, Lilo and Stitch for the bad ending is getting better reviews.
The thing is, both things can be right. Like you said, I mean, if I'm a company, I'm always going to promote the big stuff, the good stuff. But we know the truth in some case or fashion. I'm just like, well, let me go ahead and bring these up real fast, because I want to let people know we're doing surveys at the Traveling TARDIS on our YouTube channel. I would tell you more about it, but my screen has frozen for some odd reason. So give me a second while my screen catches up.
Huh. And I'll start talking.
Let me go ahead. Some of these surveys were actually taken.
Disney doesn't care about quality. It cares about money. And number one, if BBC is getting a huge audience, they're not watching it on Disney Plus. Number two, Disney has already been telling its major creators that streaming is dead. It's a money pit. They don't want to be running a streaming service. The only reason they keep going with it is because the way Disney has thought for about the last decade, one of their core driving values is, as long as they're watching our stuff, they're not watching somebody else's.
Well,
and that is what they're driving for.
Now
That's
they have
why
Disney Plus.
I can understand that in some relevance, but I'm like, what was it? At one point, 15 movies in a row lost money. 15. I mean, if I did something wrong 15 times at any job, I would be, if I wasn't reprimanded by the end of the day, I would think there's something wrong with my company.
Well, and one of the first things you have to understand there is that almost all movies lose money right out of the gate. It's not until you hit about year 5 that they break even. That's doubly true for something like Disney, where they're including their marketing in that budget, and because it helps them weasel out. I mean, that's the creative accounting that Paramount has used to claim that most of its library has never made a profit.
Right, but I bet that's the thing about streaming. That actually goes to the corporations, where they can pick up from streaming. Whereas, it was opening night at the theaters and that was it. And there was nothing else beyond that. That'd be one thing. And the streaming, now they put on the streaming service and it kind of trickles in. You got that person who's wandering around going, well, let's try that movie for a change, and get a couple hundred of those people doing.
Problem is they're paying a monthly fee rather than actually paying for the movie. So the more they watch, the more it costs you.
Speaking of which, let me go ahead and put our polls out. This is one of our polls, 15 votes. How do you think the last episode of the season will play out? It will deliver 27%. People were half and half. It was going to deliver some and disappoint others, and then it was going to disappoint was 20%. So people were saying
about accurate.
Yeah, just about accurate out there. Were you satisfied with the way the Doctor Who Reality War ended? Let me take the banner out for a second so people can see
It just
the
shows
bottom.
how many votes.
That's right. Were you satisfied with the way it ended? They were down in the middle. It was like I was not satisfied, 37%, which won, or I was so confused, which now makes it 71% total, where it was shaky, and about 14% they were very satisfied, and 14% didn't see it yet. So,
and that's just why I've gone for number 5, straight down the middle.
and well,
there is no in the middle of that poll.
Poll will not let me do more than 4, so that sucks.
Speaking of confused, oh, sorry, finish. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'll make it real fast. How long should we wait? This one I wanted to ask everybody. How long should we wait to post spoilers on our podcast? I mean, the moment everything released, I remember back when the BBC would say, wait a week, people would say, just wait a week, or, don't tell anybody. And remember when Captain Jack spilled the beans that he was back on the episode and everybody went completely ape on Twitter because he was back in the Jodie Whittaker episode that I can't think off the top of my head. So today,
the one with wasn't the prisoner or the fugitive doctor?
Yeah, it was
the fugitive doctor.
No. She was a fugitive. I don't think it had the fugitive doctor.
No, I think it was when he thought that Graham was the doctor. That's when he pulled him up, and I think that's when they were the fugitive doctor. It was that episode.
Well, how long should we wait for posts on spoilers on our podcast and our social media? For almost majority said you should be able to post the moment it's revealed on TV.
Now,
that is a
being
far
said,
cry.
that right now is still 12 hours. Right? Between when we were seeing it and when it aired on TV is a very big difference.
The moment that we saw Billy Piper show up in that regeneration scene, the moment, because I was watching my phone, is the moment I got a notification from the Doctor Who YouTube channel with that regeneration scene. So they did not wait. They were like, okay, now everybody knows.
And I definitely don't agree with that. I think the 24 hours is a perfectly reasonable amount, because by that point, anyone who's who's upset by spoilers will probably have already seen it.
That's why I couldn't understand the other ones that would say they would come on 4 hours later, 5 hours later. I'm like, what?
And the final throwaway. Everybody saw it on Disney Plus, a majority. Some people, 9%, saw it in theaters, and they hadn't decided at the time when that poll came out. So that's basically about it. Speaking of numbers, I'm
shocked.
Thank you, everybody. Here we go.
No, that's the wrong one.
Wait a minute, that's the wrong one.
That's the wrong one.
That's the old one.
That is old.
Get rid of that one, because it went from 3 p.m. yesterday to now to have that number. I was shocked.
There's more?
There's more.
Yeah, actually,
there's more. In a couple of hours, it jumped. It jumped literally.
After tonight
it
episode.
Is.
I think we killed it.
This is in real time. It's 62,528. So we're nudging up. We're
commendable.
Thank you.
Hey, 100,000. I get to go see them.
I don't have anything to do with it, I think. So, but yeah, let's get back.
I could pick lottery numbers. That would be nice.
Go on,
Zion had a
Zion,
comment.
go ahead.
You have a better chance winning the lottery than getting the season back on track.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused about this Time Lord sterile thing, because the way that I remember it, it goes back to the key to time where Romana met the Doctor and they talked about the academy, and the way how I always understood it was that you go to the academy, you pass the academy, you are granted your 12 regenerations, and now you are a Time Lord, right? Based off that alone, you have a separate population that is all Gallifreyans.
They said it was when the Master did his genetic bomb.
Yeah, the genetic thing that happened.
The Master pulled his shenanigans. That's what did it. That's what
where
sterilized them was surviving.
Time Lords
infertile.
That was in the Jodie thing, right?
Yeah.
That was in a couple of scenes. They said that.
Time Lords, Cybermen scene, I think.
I'm just right now
Interesting.
showing everybody between yesterday, the last weekend, or this past weekend, I should say, in the episode.
Oh no.
What about the doctor's daughter? Yeah, Rory has a good point.
We would all like to know that.
Well, that's what I said. Like, where's Jenny? Where's this? Where's like, where is everybody?
A big theme with this episode was love. Jim Mack says he never told Rose he loved her.
I mean, he left a carbon copy of himself with her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that got the point across.
And they have a kid. So come on. And if they kept the scene in, he could have grown his own TARDIS.
The episode left me really confused. It's not her kid. It's actually Jackie's kid, right? I don't know.
No, she has the baby brother and they have a kid. And they were given a piece of the TARDIS that they could grow. But they didn't keep that scene in.
It's not the first time that the doctor took a form of another person's face. Could it be she's not listed as a doctor in the credits?
And
She
she's
isn't
not.
listed.
James continues. Yeah, these last couple of episodes have aired Resurrection of bringing people and getting rid of them so fast. Yeah, Game of Thrones. Anyway, Gallifrey, these nuts. Well, these were absolutely terrible. This is what happens when you lose control of your production and your intelligence. Are you talking about Doctor Who or us? Rod JB says Reality Wars was a 6 out of 10 for me.
Okay, Zodberg.
I can never tell anymore. I would have loved to have given a lower rating. I did not. Anita and 13
Okay.
finale with bonkers ending. So yeah.
I gave for Poppy, yeah.
I am going to give this for this episode, I have to rate it 5 out of 10, and I have it to 10 out of 10 for Billy Piper. I gotta confess, a lot of the people that I spoke to don't like the Billy Piper ending.
No. Even the theaters, some people got mad.
People who would have fawned over Billy Piper being the doctor were like, no. Dan Holyfield, don't catch him on the YouTube channel, The Last Man Standing, on his podcast. I give it a 7, but that's been downgraded because of how they wasted Omega. It was 8.5 to 9 before they screwed that up. Yeah, they screwed the pooch, literally. And so I give Rose Kirby. So I gave the season finale 7 out of 10. It lost 3 points because it didn't go anywhere and achieve anything and left me angry, upset, and excluding Susan. Edward Hyde. Solid 7. Sad that Susan didn't return, and Omega was disappointing. Was to be an yeah, especially when you've seen the 3 doctors and Omega's made his first appearance to public. At least he didn't have a special magic rope where he was, reeling him in over the time. Mark and I the same thing. Okay. These nuts includes. You just want me to say this, don't you? I think it's 1 point. I think 1.4 is generous. Why are the fans so critical about the future of Doctor Who?
We always have been. Since
isn't that what fandom does? Are we worried about
I just want to know what the cosplays are going to be like this year.
I mean, I'm largely critical because I think it's gotten lost. Especially with the nostalgia bait, hence why I was so amusing about that. I think what they need is a new and enthusiastic showrunner who was Ncuti was supposed to be a break. We already discussed that. Candyman brought that up, and that's what this should have been. It should have been a new era in the way that Eccleston until Whittaker, really Eccleston until Capaldi was sort of a cohesive era. Whittaker was her own thing, and starting again. I hate Chibnall's show running. I hate it. I'm
gonna take it in a different place and say that it is because of the wilderness years. Currently, the way how I look at it, most of the fans are New Who fans who never experienced the wilderness years, so they don't really know what there is without Doctor Who being on the screen for an X amount of years. So like, but we all know about it. We've all heard about it. It's like a dark cloud there saying, hey, it can happen again.
Well,
And
didn't
like
they
you have
create a
fans.
book series because of that? Like after
Yeah.
Sylvester, there's the book series.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that do not read Doctor Who books or just in media in general. You have a vast amount of fans that watch Star Wars but will never ever read Tales of the Jedi. So like, it's a massive drop off. Like you have to be like us to read the books and not and like the average fan that's watching Who doesn't really know about the dark time. So like when like stuff gets like this, it is like 6 and 7 times. So like it's like, oh, here it comes again. But these guys never experienced it, so like they're scared of it. And but people like poking the bear and like getting reactions out of people saying, hey, it's gonna end.
Omega.
Here it comes.
Well, and I
At least
would
that's how I
actually
see it.
be happy if they did, like, if they shut down the series again and said, you know what, we're going to wait until we've got some reason to be doing this other than we just want to keep it alive. With, like I said, new enthusiastic creator who actually has a plan that isn't just, what do I feel like doing today?
There we go. So let's go back to some more of those comments.
Yeah, that's what Chad
Yeah.
said. Nico Bat says, I give it a 6. The Ronnies were poorly used. Omega was a waste of a classic villain. There was no reunion with Susan, which was disappointing. Rogue got wasted probably because of Ncuti leaving. Bob Pickering, our fourth Doctor cosplayer who does weather for us, and I'll explain that sometime since we're now in hurricane season. Reeling the episode, we did not see any of that coming. There's face score again.
Dare him to do a Doctor Who cosplay this year.
He does it. If you guys have seen his stuff in the past, he's I don't want to say he's a meteorologist. He works with department. I keep getting it wrong, but he does the weather for us in the fourth Doctor cosplay. So I hope he comes back on. Roger, I wanted to ask the Candyman, what was the reaction in the movie theater when he was in the UK when Billy Piper was revealed to be the 16th Doctor?
I wasn't at the cinema. I was in the pub.
It's all on Instagram and everything. Some people are like, what?
Dalek Lives Matter. He was right. The Daleks are right.
And I do want to say I am grateful for finally having a season end without the Daleks or the Cybermen.
There was a Dalek.
Oh, right.
Doesn't count.
Never mind.
There was a Dalek.
I'm just tired of them always being the end of seasons.
Exactly. What I get what you're saying.
Why has Doctor Who never had a cross with the Star Trek?
Comic.
Star Trek has had.
It has in comics.
It has a
Oh yeah,
and that gets brought up a bunch of times.
The comic is called Assimilation Squared.
I don't know if we have time. We might address this in the next episode. How would any of you reboot Doctor Who if you put it on track? And
I gave my answer to that.
That's a really good question.
Yeah, it's worth a whole. It's worth a.
That's a whole episode.
Who would have the Doctor that you all would like to? You know what? I think we should have an episode just on the goof. We might end of the month where we discuss a companion becoming the Doctor.
Yes.
Just off the cuff. But let's go ahead and continue. Let me go ahead and run these down real fast. Hi again. Hi again. Rose is back. I think introducing Billy Piper was at the end of credits, so she was not the Doctor, but John Hurt, Jodie Whittaker were the Doctor.
Every new Doctor before now has been introduced as the Doctor.
The Doctor. I do think the season finale was all over the place, but I can't forgive him for excluding Susan the season finale. I'm 100% behind you. Billy Cummington fans are critical about because they love it. It's been that way for the 1970s and 80s, but with the internet, it shares opinions rapidly and easily. And I got to even express, I was around during the wilderness years. That was a hard time, to tell you the truth. Just writing this and say these stuff. I hate you. I give it a 7 out of 10. Valor says there's only been like 30 episodes since COVID. That doesn't help. does anyone have an opinion about the Sea Devil series? Real
That's
fast.
another episode. Yeah.
Yeah. When we get closer to that, we'll definitely answer for that. I recall critical fan opinions on KTEH. Wasn't that the PBS station that actually did interview Doctor Who? They actually went over to the UK and did stuff. Okay, I think I remember those guys. Billy, we're critical of the future because the series is something special for us and we care about it. It is. And Billy, we are critical of the future. Oh, well, that's a repeat. But can you wait 5, 10, or 15 years before
they did?
Again, now is not the same. We don't live in that world anymore.
And because somebody paid us, we got to put this comment back up.
Yes,
thank you so much, Cryptus.
Thank you, Seb.
Okay. And as much as we can go, the comments are still going. So, Dave, go ahead and wrap it up. We got a few minutes. I want to keep it under 2 hours.
Rose, there's nothing wong with being critical about the program. I think this episode especially has shown that as long as it's not, as long as you can intelligently discuss why that is that you don't like a certain thing, then that's fine. There's people who have no interest in having that discussion and don't. There's I was having the conversation earlier where people were criticizing Ncuti Gatwa before we ever saw a costume, before he ever shot a scene. They just hated him right off the bat. That is not cool. That's stupid. No. Whereas there's having intelligent conversations and criticism is perfectly valid.
But I'm not defending it either. That every doctor has suffered that. Matt Smith, too young, Peter Capaldi too old, Jodie Whittaker is a woman. I mean, everybody who has gotten the new David Tennant too soon. Because they lost Christopher Eccleston. We just got Eccleston. Now we got this guy. So it usually takes a while. Everybody, does their fuming. If you ever seen that rotation where it's the regeneration cycle, I hate them. Okay, maybe I'll watch a few episodes. I really like them. I miss them, and then it starts all over again. So So no problem. You're welcome.
Speaking
Billy.
of a cycle, you're very welcome, Billy. That's what we're here for. Zion, where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Porygon to Pokedex, catching every Pokemon out there and then some.
There we go. And where can we find you, Gadget?
Everywhere and anywhere. Like I said, I'll be at the B&H Build Expo at the Javits Center, 17th and 18th. It's for all content creators, podcasters, and they say they got cool stuff. I'm in the running for a Nikon camera, so keep fingers crossed on that. I want to win that thing so bad. Also, you can pick up my books at lulu.com. The D&D book is for anyone that just wants to learn to play or has learning disabilities or anything. This is perfect for you if you're just starting out and everything. And this, if you want to find out my adventures in the UK with an ex-boyfriend, or, well, I gave away the plot on that, but you can see what happened and led up to it and everything. Or you can see what happened at the Doctor Who exhibit that's in here under another name and things. It was a really cool trip, but yeah, you can catch on when you first read it. You can also see it on Google Reads, the first 80 pages if you really are interested in it, but lulu.com has it. And I'll be at Bronx Comic Con August 2nd and New York and Anime NYC on 21st through the 24th of August. And tomorrow, keep fingers crossed, I get a 4-day pass to New York Comic Con because they just denied me the press pass. So fingers crossed.
And Grisbane Adams.
I haven't updated it in so long, there's no point, but I'm going to cede my time to time scales in the comments, because there's just the last two comments here are super cool. The KTEH interviews were done at KTEH Studios in San Jose, California, and that is when I met Patrick Troughton. My parents were running the telethon during the interviews.
Wow.
And then explaining for the youngins, telethons were telephone panel call-in pledge drives to buy more episodes of Doctor Who, and between episodes, the cosplayers were the original Whovians. Good times. That is just super cool. So I wanted to read those out to you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's Candyman. Where can we find you?
Well, you can find me here at the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, of course.
You're right here.
I'm right here. This is here. I'm here. I'm surrounded by candy. You can also find me.
Tell us your mailing address and the weakest points in your house.
What's your address, Christian?
Yeah, I showed it once. Dave knows about it.
I have it somewhere buried in paperwork.
There you go.
And you can also find me at Spielberg Geek Tea, where we interviewed the lovely Nick Smith on that side of me.
Who, me? Yeah. Yeah, you can find me right there. Spill the Geek Tea. I might pop up there. I'm also going to be in Indianapolis for PopCon Indy at the end of the month with my books. So these are brand new books that have come out, all about cats, cat mystery stories. But for the Whovians,
Charlie would love to read those.
there's one or two Doctor Who references, just little homages. So you can play Spot the Homage, and you can read Milk Treading, and tell me what you think.
And it's Gold Cap, yeah?
Oh,
Yeah.
there's cats.
And as for me, you can find me, of course, here on The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS and on Spill the Geek Tea. And I just want to point out, I've got a box here with my address crossed out.
Shut up.
Oh.
Shut.
So
I'll be opening that sometime next week, either after the Traveling TARDIS or possibly the next day. I haven't quite set that. It'll depend
I
on.
still got 2 more boxes to
things.
unbox on mine over there, plus other boxes that have been hiding behind this thing.
I'll be doing that on my channel, The TheRatHole.CA, on YouTube. That's The TheRatHole.CA. As well on Thursday coming up on my new channel, Happiness Patrol
Cannot
will
wait for that
debut. There's the YouTube channel there.
Oh boy.
At
No,
Happiness
no,
Patrol
no,
Show,
no.
That's perfect.
where we do not talk about Billy Piper.
You're out of here.
It'll be a very different episode than what you've got here. So please tune in on. You can go to the channel right now. The episode is there.
Hey, get
You
to
can
me
hit
about
the
this.
bell to be reminded when it drops, but it'll drop at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can watch it there on Happiness Patrol Show. Other than that, like I said, you can find me on the TheRatHole.CA, TheRatHole.CA on the web, and
Happiness Patrol.
one or the other of those two things on most social media. Kristen, where can we find the Traveling TARDIS?
Well, I put up my. First of all, I just want to. We have a picture of the Third Doctor reviewing our episode tonight.
I think everybody needed a drink with this episode.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Next week, this coming Tuesday, we will be interviewing Jake Estrada, the showrunner for Space Coast Comic-Con, and that will be taking place at the Vieira Community Center this Saturday and Sunday, 14th and 15th June next week. Next Tuesday, we'll be interviewing the team over there, and you'll be seeing this is a safe space for everybody. If you have a geekdom out there, most likely they've got it somewhere in that convention. And it's a fun time. It's a safe space. It's a nice play to talk. It's not a big convention. It's just a nice little convention that people can come to, geek out, have a great time, and just enjoy things. So definitely check it out next Tuesday. We'll have Jake Estrada and the team on the show, as well as go ahead and get your tickets now at spacecoastcomiccon.com. And also in September 12th through the 14th, the World Golf Village Renaissance Resort in St. Augustine, Ancient City Con will be joined with the Dalek Builders of Florida. If you love Daleks, you'll definitely want to come out there and see them, and we'll be there as well. So make sure you get your tickets now, ancientcity.com, con.com, September 12th through the 14th in St. Augustine. And with that, don't forget, if you want your sauce, people, this is it. Summer's coming out there, and all you need to do is email my good friend Billy of kitchenkillers@gmail.com. And if you mention TARDIS code on the subject line, 10% off of your purchase. But then again, let me make my boy hungry over there, Mark, because he wants some ranch sauce.
We gotta talk to him about making it without anchovies.
Talking about ranch sauce, UK have just a major mayonnaise company in the UK have just released their own version of ranch sauce.
Unfair.
Tell me you have it.
Unfair.
Yeah,
he's working. Well, Billy's working on his version. And without further ado, folks, don't forget to say goodnight to our good friend Simon, who's passed away recently. but he still will and be part of the show as far as we're concerned. Don't forget to say goodnight to Simon on the way out, and please check us out next week live, and please continue to become part of the legend. 62,500 of you and growing. Can't wait to be there for the 100,000.
At least 70,000 before these conventions, guys.
You know what? I will release this. This is kind of internal stuff, but we for some reason Social Blade's not working. So there's a thing called IIDQV or something like that. And on my birthday, which is August 20th, it projects that we're going to hit 75,000. So that's a nice little birthday present.
Oh, wow.
Let's make that happen, people.
Let's make
Please,
that happen.
people.
Like,
That's only 100,000. I get to see them in Florida.
All right. Well, for the first time ever, let's say goodnight, Rose.
Oh, no!
Good night, Simon.
There's my love.
Good
night, Simon.
Good night, Simon.
There's my love.
Until the next adventure, Tony, take
Look
us
at
out.
Dave.
Wait a minute. Are you kidding? It froze?